What's up, everybody? Welcome to the JJ Peller podcast. I'm JJ, author of the book Attract Your Potential and founder of Peller University. And in this message right here, right now, I'm going to talk with you about a lesson I learned from Jimmy V's famous ESPYs speech that I know you need reminded of because I need reminded of it, and I know that everyone needs reminded of it, and I know it can make a massive positive difference in your life right now. Here's the conversation that most people have when they talk about Jimmy V's speech. First of all, it was absolutely incredible. And it moves you emotionally. And the passion and the enthusiasm he brought to the stage that day back in March of 1993, over 30 years ago, to share his passions and his enthusiasm and some wisdom and perspective for how people can thrive in life and how they can live their best life. And how he promoted supporting cancer research and helping people to fix and find solutions for this terrible disease. And so that's what he was promoting. But the thing that many people talk about that he specifically said, where he said there's three things we need to do every day. He said we need to laugh, we need to think, and we need our emotions move us to tears. So basically he said you need to cry. You need to laugh, you need to think, you need to cry every day. We need to feel that spectrum of emotions. But something he said in that speech that most people don't talk about, at least I don't hear most people talk about it, that I caught as I re-listened to it recently, that I was like, wow, that's so good. And I wanted to highlight it for you, which is he said, there's three other things that we need to be doing every day. He said, there's three things that I think about every day. Every day, I think about where I've been. Where have I been? Number two, I think about where am I right now? And number three, think about where you're going to go. So number one, you must think about your past and take lessons from the past. Number two, realize you are where you are right now. What can you learn about where you are today? What can you appreciate or enjoy or learn from where you are right now? And we need to think about where we're going to be in the future. But the problem is way too many people are not spending enough time on that third thing. I know so many people spend time on reviewing the past, but very often in a negative way. They dwell on the past, about their past failures or challenges or faults or things they're ashamed of or disappointed by or wish they would have gone a different way. And then they think about the present, like all the things I have to do. What are my responsibilities? What are my tasks? What do I have to accomplish today? How do I get through the day? Instead of doing what Jim Rohn said, which is get from the day. But most people think about the past, they think about the present, but not enough people think about the future in a positive, optimistic, hopeful way. But the thing is, that's probably one of the most important places to be directing our thoughts, our attention, and our energy. Why? Because our thoughts about the future dictate who we are today. Now, I recently asked some people how many of them thought that they are who they are today based on their past experiences. And all of them said, yeah, I 100% agree with that, which is fantastic, wonderful. Because, most of us are driven to believe that we are who we are today based on our past. But I said, what if? Hang with me here. What if you are who you are today based on who you expect yourself to become in the future? What if that were true? Now, there's plenty of theories out there that get disproven over time, but here's a theory that's currently being promoted in the world of positive psychology. It's called prospection theory. And the idea of prospection theory is that we are who we are today based on who we expect ourselves to become in the future. Now hang with me because this is an important thing. This literally could change your life. Because most people think they're trying to create their future based on their past. I got to take everything with me from my past into who I am today to try and create my future. But what if, in fact, you exist as the person you are today because of who you believe you're becoming? Now think about this. Here's how I believe we can prove this to ourselves, because a theory is just a theory and has no power or strength to it unless we actually believe it and take it on for ourselves. But here's the thing I think I'd invite you to think about, which is, if I expect myself to do something great in my future, how will I act today? How will I behave today? What decisions will I make today? Because I often say to people, your vision will determine your decision. Every moment of life, your vision will determine your decision. Who you believe you're becoming will dictate the decision you make right here, right now, in the present moment. You will act the part of the person you believe you're becoming into the future. And so if you don't right now have a crystal clear, exciting, compelling vision of your ideal future, you got to get to work on this, friend. You must have a clear, compelling, exciting vision of the person you want to become. And the choice is all yours. This is absolutely cliche, but it's absolutely true. You are the author of the story of your life. You get to write the chapters that are yet to come. Now, you can learn from the chapters behind you. And in fact, some would say you can rewrite those chapters to make them read differently as you review the past chapters of your life. But certainly what happened, happened. But we can give different meaning to the experience of the things that happened. And hopefully that influences who we are today. Because by the way, I'm not suggesting that our past doesn't influence us. It certainly does. But what if your past influences you insofar as it helps influence the vision you have for your future? Wouldn't that be a game changer? And here's why. Because that means everything in front of us can be created. We can create our future by the choices we make about the thoughts that we think and the vision that we have for where we want to go, who we want to become. You, friend, you have the opportunity to craft your future. And because you can craft your future, you can craft your present. Because you can craft your future, you can craft your present. This theory called prospection theory could be a game changer in your life, because if you start to realize that you actually have the agency to craft your future, then you can know that you can craft your present. And if you craft your present, you totally transform every day from here on out. Now, I've talked about this in previous episodes, but how do you feel about the concept of fake it till you make it? There's some people that say, yeah, I agree with that, fake it till you make it. It works. I've heard people talk about it. But I also hear people say, I don't like that concept of fake it till you make it because I don't want to be fake. But the reality is, if you're working to become a better version of yourself tomorrow than you are today, what's that mean? What it means is you got to be a different person tomorrow than you are today. And what that means is you're going to have to be a new person tomorrow. And if you're a new person, by definition, you are not the same person as you are today. And if you're a new person and not the same person you are today, is that fake? But the truth is, you can decide who you want to be tomorrow. How confident are you? How much passion do you live with? How much aliveness? What's your energy? How do you show up? How do you communicate? How do you interact with other people? How hard do you work? What's the effort that you put into your relationships with a spouse, partner, significant other, with your children? How are you showing up in the world every single day? You make that choice. And it's absolutely, strongly, and profoundly influenced by who you see yourself becoming into the future. So craft your future. Craft the vision of who you want to become. I think it's one of the most important things any of us can do is to decide, truly decide who we want to become. Because Earl Nightingale has said this, and it's one of my favorite quotes, and it's absolutely true. As he was for decades studying it and researching, what does it take to be successful? How do I become the best version of myself? He said, I came across the strangest secret. And the strangest secret, as Earl Nightingale describes it, is we become what we think about most of the time. We become what we think about most of the time. What that means is our thoughts dictate our reality, our destiny. So what are you thinking about every day? As Jimmy V said in his famous speech at the ESPYs, every day, think about where you've been, think about where you are today, and think about where you're going to be in the future. And I think if there's one thing I can add to that, it's decide where you're going to be in the future. Decide, direct your thoughts about the vision that you have for the reality of the life that you want to be living into the future. Because you can do this. You can craft an image in your head that you hold in your head and your heart about where you want to go, about who you want to become, about what you want to do and experience and create in this world. And so I want to strongly encourage you to make that decision. And friend, if you're someone that wants encouraged along your journey, you want to dive deeper than just a video or podcast like this, and you want real training and you want monthly live interactions with a coach, with someone that can guide you and teach you and give you thoughts and perspectives just like this or similar to this as it relates to personal growth and success and achievement and fulfillment. I'd love to invite you to join me in Peller University Mastermind Community. It's my brand new Mastermind community. It's growing. It's getting started. And I'd love to invite you to join me in that. So click the link in the description of this podcast or YouTube video if that's where you're watching or paying attention to this, and join me. Get whatever free gifts or offers I have on the table right now, or grab it might even just be the audiobook version of my book, Attract Your Potential, but you can join once you pick up the audiobook of Attract Your Potential. You'll have an opportunity to join as a member of Peller University Mastermind Community. So I'd love for you to join me there. And from whatever you are going after, I hope and I pray that you choose to expand your mind, to believe that more is possible, and to never freaking quit until you turn your dreams into reality. Think bigger, dream bigger, believe bigger. And every single day, think about the vision that you're living into, the dreams that you have, and the destiny that you know you are creating. Friend, whatever you're going after, refuse to settle for anything less than your greatest potential. Refuse to settle for anything less than phenomenal in every area of your life, and just keep going. You've got this.